Hi, Hotep. The topic I'm looking at today is colon health, the key to a vibrant life. And you can regain the vitality of your youth by having colonic irrigations. Colonic irrigations can improve many conditions, memory loss, asthma, chronic fatigue, excess weight, depression, periodical disease, amnesia, the enlarged prostate, sexual dysfunction, cancers, skin problems, and flu, and many, many other ailments. More or less, any disease that you can think of, having a colonic irrigation, a series of colonic irrigations will definitely reverse or alleviate that problem. So I'm here to promote colonics. I'll just show you a diagram from a medical encyclopedia of the digestive system. Okay, let's have a look there. Right. Okay, and we're all familiar with that one. In that illustration I've just showed you, it shows you the esophagus, the stomach, the duodenum, the pancreas, the gallbladder, the bile ducts, the small intestines, the large intestines, also known as the colon, the rectum, and the anus. And what it is when we eat, when we ingest anything in our body, there is a time scale for that food to be evacuated from your body. So the approximate time that food spends in each part of the digestive system is in the mouth, it spends about 1 minute. In the esophagus, it spends about 10 seconds. In the stomach, it spends 2 to 4 hours. In the small intestines, it should spend 1 to 6 hours only. And in the large intestines, also known as the colon, it should spend 10 hours, maybe several days. But you know what? Some people, and I mean, I've been a culprit of this one as well. Things, could have been stuck in you for years and years and years upon end. Because as soon as you're born, as soon as you come onto this dimensional plane, and you start eating and drinking, that's ingesting foods that it has a potential to become very toxic in the body and to become have adverse effects. The food itself, and also the gases that it produces methane, which is very harmful to your body. It's very damaging. So I'll show you a picture of a diseased digestive system. Okay. It's diseases of the digestive system. And some of the diseases that you can get is cirrhosis. You can have a fatty liver. You can have viral hepatitis, bacterial hepatitis, gallstones, cystic duct, and gallbladder disease. You can get gallstones in your bile duct. You can get colonic pulps, which, if left untreated, it can lead to cancer. Inflammatory bowel disease or ulcerations of ulcerative colitis, Crohn's disease, appendicitis, hernias, internal hemorrhoids, external hemorrhoids, Barrett's esophagus disease, a gastric ulcer, carcinomas of the stomach, acute and chronic gastritis, acute pancreatitis, ulceration of the colitis. So what I'm saying is, I'm encouraging everyone to go and get a colonic irrigation, because there's fetal plaque that can get stuck to the sides of your colon, And even though you think that every day you're pretty healthy and you go regularly and everything, it gets stuck to the sides of the wall. In terms as a plaque, it forms as a plaque, and it cannot be removed without colonic irrigation. And sometimes the fetal plaque can weigh 5 to 10 pounds. Sometimes in some people it weighs 20 pounds. It depends whether you've been suffering from constipation or not. But I always say drink loads of water, because water is the key to vibrant health. So this book that I'm promoting is, if you neglect your colon, it can cause disease at the very best, and death at at the very worst. And you need to eat foods that are friendly and kind to your colon. Our body isn't a sewer, so these foods shouldn't be in us for years and years and be stuck all over in us. Some people have gone out and had their appendix out, have gone and cut their tonsils out. um, you know. But I want to say that there's a correlation between your colon, a direct correlation between your colon and your hypothalamus, which is the control center of your body. It's in your brain, and with a clean colon, it'll increase your cosmic energy vibrations. You'll be able to receive more messages from your cosmic energy centers, the chakras. Um, and we need to keep the hypothalamus is always on the alert. But when it's been your colon's been abused, and then it can't send that message. It blocks messages. So by having colonics, it can clear your eyes. It can clear ears. Your ears, any trouble in your ears, nasal catarrh, asthma, hay fever, your tonsils. Some people have had their tonsils out unnecessarily. Go and get a colonic. If you're sore, sore throats. If you got any trouble with your spine as well, sometimes it's just that you need a colonic, because everything in your colon directly correlates with all the different organs in your body. If I can show you this with the endocrine system. Okay, and up there is a picture of your thyroid. Okay, the pituitary glands and the hypothalamus, the adrenal glands there, your stomach and your duodenum there, your pancreas. It can affect your ovaries if your colon is in a bad state. Even the follicles, and the testes as well. So you need to go. And what I want to say is, colonics are very discreet. You don't need to feel embarrassed that you might be embarrassed, or you don't need to think, oh, if I went and had a colonic and gallons and gallons of water are put inside my body, and when I finish the colonic, I'm going to walk around the streets and I'm going to be wet all over or anything like that. It's nothing like that. And really, you'll need a series of colonics. Okay, this book, why I promote it and I dip into it from time to time, is that it just it's like a little dictionary and encyclopedia of it affects parts of your brain. Okay, having a blocked colon, I'll never forget that story. It just sticks out in my mind about this soldier. And what happened was he had a really bad stomach pains, okay? And it was so acute the pain. He was rolling up. He was reeling in pain. He was rolling up in pain. And he went to the doctors, and straight away they ordered an ambulance, and they took him straight to the emergency room. Okay. And when they got to the emergency room and they looked at him for a diagnosis, they diagnosed that he needed to have his colon removed, which I think is one of the most horrible, barbaric things to have done. You know, in the world. But anyway, they had his colon removed. He went under the operation, and consequently, he had to, have a bag, wear a bag for the rest of his life. And that's not very nice, because he was quite a young man. He was about in his 20s, and as he came out of the army, he went and he was looking for a job. So he went in for a job interview, and there was like 4 people standing there to interview him, interviewers. And what happened, and I don't know how it happened, but his bag burst, and it was so, he found it so embarrassing, humiliating to be like fetal matter all over the floor, all over his body. And then, he had to go home in that state, whether it was he drove home or he walked home, but he had to face the public in that state. I mean, how embarrassed, how humiliated totally. And what, subsequently what he did was he went and got himself a gun, and he shot himself, in the head, because he was so humiliated by it. And, I think, with a series of colonics, maybe I recommend about 6 a year. There wouldn't have been any need to even remove the colon in the first place. Fancy that. So, I'm saying, give this a serious consideration, and always bear it in mind. And you know how when we're getting ready to go out, or every day we do our little hygiene, we brush our teeth and we bathe, we wash ourselves, wash our hair, whatever. I'm saying you need to pay as much attention to the inside of your body as you do to the outside of your body. In many cases, more so to the inside of your body. And colonics is a brilliant way to ensure that you're keeping your internal flora in tip-top condition, and it'll show. Your skin will glow, you'll feel better, your mind will be clear, you'll achieve whatever goals it is that you want to achieve, because you've got that confidence, you feel good, you feel healthy, and I mean, I just can't press it home enough, really. And I just want to say, do give it some serious consideration. It's discreet. They'll go through the procedure. They'll explain everything. It's nothing, spooky or anything like that. You're doing it for you. If you want to live a long time, whatever, your lifespan ought to be, have a colonic as soon as you can, and keep up with it, for the rest of your life. It's one of the best things you can do. You all your flus, all your illnesses will be alleviated. You look good, feel good, and why not look after yourself? So, thank you for joining me today. If you got any requests you want to hear me see me covering, to look into on your behalf, I will, just let me know, send in your requests, and I'll try my very best to look into it on your behalf and do the research. So, and even what I've said to you, don't just take my word for it. Look it up, think about it. And also, I forgot to say, children, I think they start colonics on children from 12, maybe it's 10. But I've even heard of an extreme case where I think it was a young lady. She was 8 years old, and she had really bad constipation. She was in pain, and luckily enough, her mom was wise enough, and her mom and dad were wise enough to, consider this form of holistic therapy for the body. And now I think they were considering her for an operation or something. And now that child is, a big woman now, I guess, but healthy, and she knows what to do to look after herself. And You know, it's all good. It's all good. It's a win-win situation. Colonics are should be part of, your new way of life. If you're looking at health, that's definite. Not only exercise, not only diet, internal health is very important. I think they said that the top two killers in the world is, number one, it's lack of water. Not enough people drink water. So the number one killer in the world is because people are thirsty. So, and the cells are thirsty. So it's lack of water. The second biggest killer in the world is lack of sleep. People are tired, lethargic, and that's the second biggest killer in the world. But I think number three is, neglect of your internal health, neglect of looking after your colon. So, colonic irrigation, that's my, my tip for today. And I'm sure you'll be glad the day that you do, indulge and start looking after your whole body, and then spiritually, and it'll raise your vibrations as well. And we all need to be getting ready for what's on the horizon. We can feel the temperatures changing on the earth, which is a reflection of what's going on inside of us. So 2013, is coming. Why not be as prepared as you can for 2013 and beyond? So go and get your colonic today. Peace, namaste, hotep, and long life, longevity to you and your loved ones. Take care.